These coffee plants are on land that used to grow opium poppies, the base ingredient for heroin. The United Nations says the amount of land in northeastern Myanmar used to cultivate opium poppies dropped by 10% from 2017 to 2018. The reasons include decreasing demand for heroin, as well as crop substitution programs such as this one.
More farmers are getting interested in switching from opium to coffee. Sometimes they ask me about it.
But stories like this are small in scale compared to the amount of money in Shan State's illicit economy, which in addition to opium includes the bigger business of methamphetamines. Altogether, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that's connected to transnational crime syndicates.
The economy in Shan State, when it comes to the drug economy, is massive.
In many of the drug-producing areas, ethnic minority insurgents have been fighting Myanmar's military and militias connected to the military for decades.
For the past 50 years, drugs and conflict have been intertwined in Myanmar, and they can't be separated. And to say that one's fueling the other kind of misses the point, because in fact, the conflicts are about politics. They're about unresolved political conflicts.
To keep a conflict running, you need money. You need to be able, on all sides, to buy weapons, to buy access, to buy the way forward for your area, and this requires money, and drug provides that.
On the other side of these mountains, they're still cultivating opium and producing methamphetamines. These are essentially lawless areas, and the drugs produced there flow across the region.
When you have a drug economy that is so big, that is probably greater than the size of the formal economy in Shan State, it has the effect of crowding out the potential for reform. When there's so much money being made by so many different actors, why would they want to change it?
And despite high-profile seizures and displays, the drug business is resilient because there's so much money at stake. Dave Grunebaum, CGTN, Shan State, Myanmar.
According to a new report by the International Crisis Group, the illegal drug trade in Myanmar's Shan State now dwarfs the area's formal economy. Located in Southeast Asia's Golden Triangle, the Shan State's production and trade of methamphetamines has surged to record levels in recent years. The report says the total annual value of the region's drug trade is estimated at more than $40 billion. In 2017, more than 25 tons of crystal meth were seized in the region, nearly all of which is believed to have been produced in Myanmar. Even larger amounts were confiscated in 2018. Crystal meth is worth much more than heroin, with profits in Myanmar likely at several billion dollars per year for crystal meth alone. Other seizures of crystal meth have occurred within the Asia-Pacific region, most of which is believed to have originated in the Shan State. And now our correspondent Dave Grunebaum joins us live from Yangon to talk more about this. Hello there, Dave. You mentioned that there are armed conflicts in many of the areas where drugs are produced. So, are all of these armed groups involved in the drug businesses?
No, certainly all of them are not. In fact, some of them have taken strong stands against drug production and are actually fighting other armed groups that are involved with drugs. Independent analysts will point out that some of the armed groups involved with drugs are actually militias that are affiliated with the country's military, but it goes much beyond them too. But an important point to bring out here, this is much bigger than just Myanmar. The drug business here is connected to transnational crime syndicates, and the leaders of those are the really big fish in all this.
Now, why is the Shan State the place where so much of this drug production takes place, and where are the drugs going?
Yeah, so these armed conflicts, these are going on in areas where there's instability, where there's lawlessness, so it's just easier for the drug producers to go in there and set up shop. The big money for these drug syndicates, as you mentioned, is with methamphetamines. The lower-end meth, what's called yaba here in Myanmar, it's being sold all across this country and in nearby countries in the Mekong region. The more expensive crystal meth, where they really make the big profits, that's going to countries outside of this area, particularly Australia and New Zealand. One other point I want to bring out, though, for all the issues with the armed conflicts, for all the issues with the drugs in Shan State, there are still large swaths of Shan State that are completely safe, that are far from the drug producing, that are far from the armed conflicts, where you have major tourist attractions. So this is not going on everywhere in Shan State, but it is a massive, massive problem in certain areas of Shan State.
All right, thanks so much, Dave, for bringing us the latest from Yangon.